I want to make sure, because you've repeated several times, other members on that side have repeated several times, that this bill is intended to ensure that no one loses coverage, vulnerable people who Medicaid was originally intended for. And that caught my attention. And so I just want to ask point blank. The Affordable Care Act expanded who was eligible by allowing the states to cover adults with incomes up to 138% of the federal poverty line, which for an individual in 2025 is someone who makes up to $21,597 a year, which to me is someone who's pretty vulnerable. So will this bill ensure that individuals who make up to 138% of the federal poverty line, who were included in Medicaid expansion in the states that expanded it, who meet the requirements, will not lose any coverage? Is that the intent of this bill? Are they included in the vulnerable population that Medicaid was originally intended to cover, as stated by you, Mr. Chairman?
If they are eligible, they are going to continue to be covered. What we are looking to do is to remove those who are registered in more than one state. What we're looking to do is to make sure, and yes, there are those who are eligible in more than one state, and we're going to clean that up. We're also going to make sure that if they're not supposed to be on the Medicaid rolls, that they're not on the Medicaid rolls. Therefore, we're going to take care of those who are the most vulnerable, who should be getting this most necessary coverage.
And Mr. Chairman, just to be crystal clear, because it's 1 a.m. and very few people are paying attention to this, and I want it very clearly on the record, the majority party that wrote and intends to vote for this bill includes the expansion population in those states that expanded it to cover adults who make up to 138% of the federal poverty line. You include that as the vulnerable Americans who are eligible and should continue to get Medicaid.
The bill before us includes a work requirement so that if they engage in 80 hours a month and the parameters are set, there is no reason why they would not be able to continue on this Medicaid.
And Mr. Chairman, who will implement the work requirement?
The work requirements are in this bill, the parameters of that, and they will be administered by the states.
Okay. So that includes Georgia, which when it implemented work requirements, kicked eligible people off the rolls. That includes Alabama. This is not a question, this is a statement. That includes Alabama, that when they implemented work requirements, that kicked people off of the rolls who were otherwise eligible. That means if you fill out the paperwork incorrectly, you lose your health insurance. That means if the state hasn't figured out how to determine when you got pregnant, when you stopped or began work, you're kicked off. That means that under this bill, because they do multiple checks, if you've been laid off and you haven't gotten a new job yet, you're kicked off. That's what that means, and we're gonna have a whole lot of discussion about work requirements tonight, because basically the work requirements are red tape requirements that if you fail to fill out these forms that states, there's evidence that states have not been able to implement in a way that doesn't kick off eligible people. We're gonna have a lot of conversation about that this morning. I yield back.